In this lesson, we'll talk about cognitive behavioral therapies. You already know that cognitive behavioral approaches consist of behavior therapy, cognitive therapy, rational emotive behavior therapy, and reality therapy. And there are some general key concepts all share in common. And in all of them, a collaborative relationship between the group member and the therapist is appreciated. The premise that psychological distress is largely a function of disturbances in cognitive processes are shared, and there is a focus on changing cognitions to produce desired changes in affect and behavior. In a cognitive behavioral therapy model, it's a present focus model, and it's generally time limited, and educational treatment focusing on specific and structured target problems are appreciated. And actually this model is empirically validated. You remember psychodynamic and especially experiential oriented approaches are not scientifically proven. There has been any empirical evidence on their applicability, but for these approaches, scientific approaches have proven their efficacy. For behavior therapy, actually at the group setting, behavioral goals are determined for members, okay? And basically, at an baseline, when all of the group members attend to the first session, let's say, there is made an assessment on where they are on the goal they want to achieve, okay, at the end of the sessions. So throughout the group process, they compare the process of the group members with respect to the baseline. They start the group counseling sessions actually. And a comprehensive assessment of the individual to determine the present level of functioning is made in order to be able to set up goals with the clients. Let's consider that mesela bir kişi okullarda diyelim ki verimli ders çalışma ve zaman yönetimi grup çalışması yapıyorsunuz. İlk başlarda geldi öğrenci, grupta öğrenciler var. Her biriyle değerlendirmesini yapıyorsunuz. İşte şu anda kaç saat çalışıyorsun? Günün hangi saatlerinde çalışmayı seviyorsun? Atıyorum ne kadar aralıklı çalışmayı seviyorsun? Pomodoro tekniğini kullanıp işte 20 dakika çalışıp 5 dakika ara mı veriyorsun? Yoksa 2 saat kesintisiz çalışmak mı senin için iyi? Hangisi işe yarıyor? Herhangi bir çalışma odan var mı? Bunlar baseline'da topladığımız assessment bilgileri, değerlendirme bilgileri. Eğer öğrencinin bir şekilde işte 2 saat üst üste çalışırken aslında dikkatini çok dağılıp sürekli telefona baktığı gibi bir bilgiye erişiyorsak ne yapıyoruz? Onun için hedeflediğimiz şey çalışma ortamına girerken yanında telefonunu bulundurma, 2 saat yerine 50 dakikalık sürelerde çalış, 10 dakika ara ver, 10 dakika ara verdiğinde gerçekten hani çok merak ediyorsan telefonda bunun 5 dakikasını ihtiyaç molasını verip 5 dakikasında telefonuna bakabilirsin gibi hedefler koyuyoruz. So we are establishing specific goals if we are following behavior therapy. And they are empirically supported techniques, and the therapeutic relationship is of central importance and critical to outcome. And as therapeutic goals, behavior therapy aims to increase personal choice and to create new conditions for learning. Aims to eliminate maladaptive behaviors and to replace them with more constructive working patterns. And they collaboratively specify treatment goals in concrete, measurable, and objective terms. Goals must be clear, concrete, understood, and agreed on by the members and the group leader. And altering goals throughout the therapeutic process as needed is accepted. There should be a good working relationship between the therapist and the group members. Actually, all the problems should be conceptualized behaviorally, clearly, specifically. And the group counselor's role in behavior therapy is to teach concrete skills through modeling and performance feedback. A group counselor needs to be active and directive in this approach, not as it is in experiential approaches. And mostly group counselors function as consultants and problem solvers, and group members are expected to cooperate in carrying out therapeutic activities both in sessions and outside of therapy. Arkadaşlar, adı üstünde davranışçı terapi. Baştan amaçlar belirleniyor. Her şey net bir şekilde, ölçülebilir bir şekilde. İşte ders çalışmaya bugün başlıyorsun. Pazartesi günü 30 dakika, salı günü 30 dakika, çarşamba, perşembe 40'ar dakika ve perşembe günü, cuma günü 50 dakika çalışacaksın. Bunları bir chart oluyor. Chart'ı işaretliyorsun. Chart'ta eğer başardığın yerlere smiley face koyuyorsun. Başaramadığın yerlere üzgün yüz koyuyorsun. Her şey çok yapılandırılmış ve takibi, ölçümü çok kolay. Özellikle okullarda öğrencilerle davranışçı tekniklerden belirli davranışlarını değiştirmeleri için çok yararlanıyoruz. Okul ortamında çok pratik diyebilirim size. Çünkü buradaki liderin çok direktif olması, suggestion'larda bulunup, ödevler vermesi, önerilerde bulunup bunları takip etmesi gerekiyor. Böyle bir yapı var. Okay, and continuous feedback is given to the group members about therapeutic process consistently. These are the techniques that are used in behavior therapy. I'm sure you have gone through these techniques a lot of times, so I will not go on. But if you have any questions about these techniques, please write under the YouTube comment part, so we will all be able to see, and I will reply back to you. And another therapeutic technique under the CBT umbrella is cognitive therapy. According to cognitive therapy, psychological problems stem from faulty thinking and actually from making incorrect inferences on the basis of inadequate or incorrect information, and also as a result of failing to distinguish between fantasy and reality. Mesela şu anda işi olan ama koronadan dolayı ona direkt bir tehdit olmasa da kesin beni 2021 yılında işten atacaklar diyen bir çalışan ne yapıyor? Realitesi aslında hala o işte olduğu ve ona söylenilmemiş bir durum var, değil mi? Hala işten kovulmadığına, yani işten kovulmadı. Ama fantezisinde ne var? İşten kovulacağı fantezisi var. Bunların ayrımına varamayınca kişi ne oluyor? Zihinsel olarak özellikle fantezinin peşinden gidiyor ve tabii ki ardından depresif belirtiler, kaygı belirtileri çıkabiliyor. Actually, cognitive therapy says that people have some faulty thoughts, faulty thinking, and these automatic thoughts are personalized notions that are triggered by particular stimuli that lead to emotional responses. They say that we human beings are to learn erroneous, mistaken thoughts in our lives, but the therapy aims to relearn them or unlearn them, okay, to forget those automatic and faulty thoughts, and identifying automatic thoughts and teaching the group members how to evaluate their thoughts in a structured way is an important part of cognitive therapy, and testing the members' misconceptions and faulty assumptions are as well very valued. And for cognitive therapist role, actually they need to encourage group members to learn skills to deal with the problems of living, but basically they are responsible for teaching members how to identify inaccurate and dysfunctional cognitions through a process of evaluation. And collaborative empiricism is very important in cognitive theory. This is forming hypotheses and testing their assumptions. Şimdi arkadaşlar, bir grup danışmanlığında siz kognitif bir approach ya da CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy yaklaşımını benimseyen bir terapistsiniz ve ona göre bir grup açtınız. Üyeleriniz de olumsuz, otomatik, tekrarlayan ve rasyonel olmayan düşüncelerle geldi. Sizin terapist olarak yapacağınız şey, kişilerin bu düşünceyle ilgili ellerinde bir kanıtı olup olmadığını test etmek. Şimdi diyelim ki bir tane danışan, bir grup üyesi var. Diyor ki, zaten diyor hiçbir kadın beni bir partner olarak hayatımda istemez diyor. Peki. Buradaki temel şey Freudian adlerini psikodinamik olsa sebebine çalışır. Hani bu düşünce acaba temelini nereden alıyor çalışır, değil mi? Ama cognitive behavioral'ın an karşısı değil, here and now'daki otomatik olumsuz düşünceyle işi olduğu için direkt düşüncenin kendisiyle çalışıyor kognitif terapist. Ve diyor ki hiçbir kadının seni hayatında işte istemeyeceğini düşünüyorsun. Peki. Hiç seni hayatında istemeyen bir kadın oldu mu bu zamana kadar? Diye soruyoruz. Düşünüyor. Bakıyor. Aslında hani bir kız arkadaşı olmuş üniversitedeyken mesela. Peki yani o seni hayatında istemiş. Evet. Annen de bir kadın. Annen de hayatında istemiş. Peki. Aslında bir tane daha sevgilisi olmuş ya da çok yakın bir kız arkadaşı var. Bu arkadaşın da seni hayatında istemiş. Evet. Ne yapıyorum? Kişinin kurmuş olduğu düşünce yapısını kanıt arayarak bir şekilde çürütüyorum. Ondan sonra da diyorum ki bu düşünce yerine alternatif ne gibi bir düşünce üretebilirsin? Yani belli ki hiçbir kadın seni hayatında istememiş veya istemiyor değil. Peki bu düşüncenin yerine başka hangi alternatif bir düşünce oluşabilir? Şöyle diyebilirsin. Ya tek durum gerçek neyse aşık olduğum bir kadın var ve o şu an beni istemiyor hayatında. Tamam bu gerçek. Yani bunu genelleyebileceğimiz falso bir irrasyonel bir durum yok. Bir kadın var, ona aşık ama o onu istemiyor. Tamam bu çok real bir şey çünkü her zaman her şey karşılıklı olacak diye bir şey yok. Okey, gerçek bu. Yani haliyle düşünce anlamında da kişiyi fantastik düşünceden ve genellenilebilir düşüncelerden reality'ye çekmeye çalışıyoruz. Temel durumu bu kognitif terapistlerin. You can read here. Okay. While doing cognitive restructuring, I think these are the good questions and interventions that you may need to know actually. Here you see that group members, you will experience this, yes. They will engage in catastrophic thinking by only focusing on the most extreme negative aspects of a situation. Okay? As I given the example previously, no woman wants me in her life type of catastrophic thinking, very extreme. And detecting those times when members got stuck imagining the worst possible outcome. These are the questions that we would ask. First one is, what is the worst thing that could occur? And if this happens, what would make this such a negative outcome? These are important in order to distance the group member from his or her faulty thinking. Okay, you ask these questions and he gets distance and tries to analyze that thought. So these are good intervention questions. To consider the goals of cognitive therapy, actually, as you can guess, they aim to change the way clients think. by identifying their automatic, repeating, irrational thoughts, and they aim to change the beliefs and thought processes. And because as they change these thought processes, then inevitably the emotions of the people will change, and afterwards, when your emotions change, the way you behave cannot be stay the same. Okay? And of course, they also want to facilitate the group members to learn practical ways to identify underlying faulty beliefs, to critically evaluate these irrational beliefs on their own, and to be able to replace them with constructive ones, alternative ones. Yes, combining empathy and sensitivity, you should be very knowledgeable and skilled in the use of cognitive and behavioral strategies, and Socratic questioning is important. This is like figuring out what would be the worst case. For example, bir örnek vereyim size. Mesela kalabalık önünde sunum yapınca rezil olacağını düşünen biri kesin rezil olacağım diyor. İşte bunu alternatif düşüncelerle dönüştürmeye çalıştığımız vesaire. Şimdi artık en sonunda böyle kişi sıkışıp kaldığında şunu soruyorsun. Rezil olursan ne olur? Diyor ki rezil olursam ne olur? İşte herkes benimle alay eder. Herkes seninle alay ederse ne olur? Küçük düşmüş olurum. Küçük düşersen ne olur? Kendimi değersiz hissederim. Kendini değersiz hissedersen ne olur? Yani bu soruların devamı geliyor ve bir yerde durmak zorunda. Çünkü bir şey olmuyor neticesinde. Yani bu Socratic questioning'le ulaşmaya çalıştığımız şey hani en sonunda en nihai noktada durmak zorunda kaldığı yer grup üyesinin aslında başa çıkabileceği bir yer oluyor genel olarak. Okay, nothing new here. Okay, briefly let's go with the role of the leader. Actually we had mentioned a little bit, but okay, they want to teach group members how to be their own therapists. Sometimes they may be like teachers, they may be active and directive as they are in behavior therapy. They encourage members to create their own self-help assignments. And actually here, relapse prevention is important as part of the leader's role in groups and counseling sessions. Actually, for relapse prevention, there are some procedures for dealing with inevitable setbacks clients are likely to experience as they apply what they are learning to daily life. Think that they will learn some abilities to distort their own thinking, to catch yourselves while having some automatic thoughts, but sometimes they will not be able to apply the skills that they have learned in the group counseling settings to the real life. And in order to prevent such relapse, which is repeating the old fashion, you prepare your clients with self-help skills, and in cases where necessary, you ask for follow-up sessions. To go on with rational and emotive behavior therapy, actually, according to REPT, our problems are caused by our perceptions of life situations. In this regard, we don't blame any other situation, we don't blame others, we don't blame past events. What is responsible for our problems is our perception of the life situations and our thoughts regarding these situations. And it is our responsibility to recognize and change these self-defeating thinking that leads to emotional and behavioral disorders. It is like in cognitive therapy, right? There we were dealing with automatic thoughts, but here we are dealing with self-defeating thoughts. Okay. And to overcome irrational thinking, therapists use active and directive therapy, as all are in cognitive behavioral therapies, and they may do some teaching, they may give suggestions, and they assign homeworks, as they are in cognitive and behavioral therapies as well. Okay. And therapeutic goals is to eliminate a self-defeating outlook on life, to reduce unhealthy emotional responses, and to acquire a more rational and tolerant philosophy. Are you catching up that we started to talk about emotions? While we were talking about behavior therapy and cognitive therapy, mostly we were either focusing on goals, behavioral goals, and changing some behavioral patterns, and in cognitive therapy, changing on automatic thoughts. Here also, we started to consider emotional impacts as well. Here, you will see some similarities with experiential approaches that here the therapists generally unconditionally accept the group members and teach them to unconditionally accept others and themselves. So we had seen this in especially person-centered approach, right? Unconditional positive regard, but also in most of the experiential relationship-oriented approaches as well. And members do not blame each other. Of course, therapist doesn't blame the members. And the therapists teach members how to avoid rating themselves. Okay, there are some techniques to change members' patterns of thinking, feeling, and acting. And here you can teach them how faulty beliefs can be countered by rational coping self-statements. Members are expected to monitor their manner of speaking by writing down and analyzing the quality of their language. And they are asked to develop some coping self-statements by confronting their faulty thinking. And these coping self-statements include rational beliefs and thoughts regarding the situations they are having problems with. For example, a member might tell herself, I must perform well, which means being perfect. People give me approval only when I'm perfect, and I very much need this approval from others to feel worthwhile. By becoming aware of the demanding quality of her internal and external speech, she can learn how what she tells herself is setting her up for failure. So she can replace these self-defeating statements with coping statements, which is, I can still accept myself even though I'm imperfect. Okay, this is the coping statement example. And why don't you read this example on yourself? This is also a good example. And let's go with reality therapy. Reality therapy, with its other name choice theory, rests on the assumption that humans are internally motivated and behave to control the world around them according to some purpose within them. Choice theory, which is the underlying philosophy of the practice of reality therapy, provides a framework that explains the why and how of human behavior. Try to catch the similarities and differences between different theoretical approaches, okay? See, here it is said that humans are internally motivated to do some change in their environment. Which theory was saying that? Remember, this belief was also beyond the experiential theories, right? They were believing in the motivation and the capacity of the people to move on. They were believing in their motivation, right? So they have some similarities. According to reality therapy, Human beings are motivated to change when they determine that their current behavior is not getting them what they want, and when they believe they can choose other behaviors that will get them closer to what they want. Can you catch the similarity? This is choosing. In which theory was there this choosing assumption? Existential. Okay, the group leader here with reality therapy approach makes an assessment of group members' current behavior to determine if what they are doing and thinking is getting them what they want from life. So the group leader firstly explore the perceptions of the group members. They ask them to share their wants, and they expect group members to make a commitment to the counseling process, and they believe that clients can directly control their acting and thinking functions more than they can control what they are feeling. So their actions become the focus of work in the group counseling session. So they create a plan of action to make the changes they want. In which theory we saw this? Behavioral, right? And see, catch again. No matter how dire our circumstances may be, we all have a choice, existential. And we have this personal responsibility, and we can only deal with the things in present. Okay, taking responsibility, existential. Okay, the therapeutic goals for reality therapy is to help people find better ways to meet their needs for survival, love and belonging, power, freedom, and fun. It's fun. And changes in behavior tend to result in the satisfaction of basic needs. So, changes in action, changes in behavior are of the focus. Okay, anything new? No, but the group leader avoids criticism, refuses to accept members' excuses for not following through with agreed upon plans, and does not easily give up on members. Still, you see here that there is a directive and active role of the therapist. Okay, skillful questioning and various techniques are employed to help members make this self-evaluation. This is important. Oh, there are some procedures that are utilized in reality therapy. We have WDEP models, and this refers to the following clusters of strategies. W refers to wants, which means exploring wants, needs, and perceptions of the group members. Direction refers to, a D refers to direction and doing. For this focuses on what clients are doing, and the direction, this is taking them. And E is evaluation. And this is challenging clients to make an evaluation of their total behavior. And P is planning and commitment, assisting clients in formulating realistic plans and making a commitment to carry them out. So, at the basis of reality therapy, reality therapists need to follow these procedures, okay? They will ask the wants of their clients, they will scan what the clients are doing and which direction they are going. They will make some challenge to clients to make evaluation of their total behavior, giving responsibility to themselves, etc. And also they will assist their clients to make plans to reach a goal which was set ahead. And here, to sum up, members explore what they want, what they have, and what they are not getting. And members are assisted in making a self-evaluation of their current behavior, and there are some useful questions. These are really important. I recommend you to practice these. What would you be doing if you were living the way you wished? Very good question. Is this choice to your best short-term and long-term advantage? And is it consistent with your values? Especially at the beginning, while we are setting up goals, we question this. Is this applicable? Is this consistent? Okay. Move by these questions, clients, the group members move from a sense of external control to a sense of internal control. Okay, they don't need any other people to control or to direct them after a point. As in behavior therapy, here an action plan is created as well, and carrying put plans enables people to gain effective control over their lives, and making plans, checking them if they are working or not, and members learn how to plan realistically and responsibly through contact with both the other members and the leader. Okay, to sum up, cognitive behavioral therapies, as you see, either focus on only the behavior, only the cognition, or sometimes both cognition, affect, and behaviors, and some only consider these actions and choices. Okay, see you in our second video next week.